I think sometimes when I talk about rules and having a very selected culture for an individual community, people imagine that I'm trying to create some kind of homogeneous environment. And I'm usually not. I mean, I like extreme self-expression. I don't want to live like the Amish in terms of fashion, you know? I mean, most of my clothing is donated, so I wear whatever the hell people send me. I've bought, like, in the past 15 years, I think I've bought some shorts, because my shorts get beat up. The ones I'm wearing right now have a big tear in the crotch. It's annoying, like huge. So I don't even want to sit down in public and spread my legs at all. But all my other shorts are all dirty. So my point is, though, is that we can have massive diversity, massive cultural diversity, supported by a base set of rules that allow us to trust each other. So I'm not imagining a homogeneous, culturally narrow space. Just by setting up some base rules for better, social functioning doesn't mean we then have a boring life. I mean, I'm kind of a wild person. I've always been kind of a wild person, and I actually want to support more freedom. And I once had a birthday party a long time ago, and my only request, I said, don't bring me any gifts, because I think gift giving is annoying often. And I'm going to make another video about gifts and also one about lending and borrowing. But I said, no gifts. The only thing I want is a request. Wear as many colors as you can. It was a fun party. I mean, not only did I have a great invite list of really cool people who were just fun to talk to, good conversationalists, open to meeting people and chatting about things that aren't just chit-chat, but more in-depth. And I do have some pictures from that party, and I'll always remember that as one of the funner parties I had because it was so simple. And some people showed up, like, they're wearing like one color of pants and a crazy shirt that clashes with it, and a weird tie and a weird hat. And it was essentially a costume party where you don't come dressed as a character. You come dressed in just wild colors. That was it. And that can be expressed any way you want. So yeah, let's not get into this idea that all this stuff I talk about figuring out how do we have to restrict ourselves to set ourselves free, is trying to really limit cultural expression. I want radical free expression. It's more fun. And I even want to set up like spaces for people to share ideas that don't agree with each other, but that they do agree to be civil and kind and empathetic. And even if we're talking about very serious social issues, that we do that in a way that is respectful of other people, unlike social media online that primarily promotes and pushes at you controversial arguments of people being really, really rude to each other. Even people in commenting on videos can get extremely rude, and I just don't accept those comments in most cases. Sometimes I do. Depends, but if somebody makes a rude comment, I usually just block them. And they're often just, tiny little one-liner insults, and it's like, well, I don't want you in my life. I cut you out. I block you. That's not cowardly of me. It's just a choice of what I want in my life and don't. So I know it's complex to understand this stuff, but this is what intentional living is about, like deciding how do we want to live. And not every community needs to have the same rule set. And even within a community, they can have different rule sets at different times in different spaces. So it's actually, the law shall set us free kind of thing, rather than the law shall dictate every bit of our lives. And that's going to be widely varied from community to community. So we'll see.